So we have seen that this is the general form where we can write how to write the given pair of equations in form, so that we can make use of this cross multiplication method, and we have seen it. And one more thing is there. See here, when we in the beginning of this chapter we have seen the graphical method, and in that when we used that graphical method we have seen some pair of equations have infinitely many solutions and some has only a unique solution, whereas some pair of equations has no solution at all. Okay, and again there also we have written, do you remember a table was drawn, and the peculiarities of the ratios of the coefficients of x and y were taken? Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
The same thing applies here also. See here, that's why I am the point one is given. See, when a1 by a2, you know that what is a1? A1 means the coefficient of x in the first equation. Whatever be in the general form I am telling. Okay, a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. We get a unique solution. That is, the pair of linear equations will have only one solution. Okay, there won't be two solutions or infinitely many solutions or no solution at all. Only a unique solution will be there. See, but what if the ratios a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 and which is equal to c1 by c2? Then we can say there are infinitely many solutions. That is, those two lines, do you remember when you compare it with the graphical method, those two lines will be, what is the peculiarity of those two lines?
Coincidence. Overlapping each other.
Overlapping each other.
Yes, that's it.
They're coincident.
Yes, and what in the third case, when a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2, but the constant ratio is not equal? So we can say that there is no solution. It means those two lines
Parallel each other.
Are parallel. Not
they are, yes, they are parallel, which means they are not coinciding. They are not intersecting at any point. Okay, so keep this point in mind because we need this in this section also for solving some problems. So now let us move and do some problems. Okay, all of you remember it? Let me do I have to tell you once again? Okay, I will just tell you. See, when we write the x in the numerator, the denominator should contain the y term and the constant term, and when we write the y term, it should contain the constant term and the term coefficient of x. And similarly, when we write the 1, that's constant, 1 divided by the denominator should be the coefficients of x and y. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let us move to our question. From a bus stand in Bangalore, if we buy 2 tickets to Malleshwaram and 3 tickets to Yeshwanthpur, the total cost is rupees 46. Okay, but if we buy 3 tickets to Malleshwaram and 5 tickets to Yeshwanthpur, the total cost is rupees 74. If so, find the fares from the bus stand to Malleshwaram and to Yeshwanthpur. Okay, 2 informations are given, which means you have to form 2 equations. You all know it. And again, we are denoting, let rupees x be the fare from the bus stand in Bangalore to Malleshwaram. That is being denoted by rupees x, and rupees y to Yeshwanthpur. So we can write, we are given 2 tickets to Malleshwaram, that is 2x plus 3 tickets to Yeshwanthpur. 2x plus 3y, that is 2x plus 3y minus 46 equal to 0, and it is called the equation 1. Okay, remember one thing, when you are about to use the cross multiplication method, always change the position of the constant from the right hand side to the left hand side. Okay, don't forget it, otherwise the answer will be wrong. Okay. Okay, keep this in mind because many students make these mistakes. And when we form the next equation, 3x plus 5y minus 74. That is, again, we are taking this positive 74 from RHS to LHS. That is 3x plus 5y minus 74 is equal to 0. We are taking it as equation 2. Now we are going to draw the diagram. Okay. So if I am to write, okay, I think it will be better if we just write it. Okay, see, I'm writing x. What will be the denominator? Who can say?
Can I say, sir?
Okay.
V1 C2 minus V2 C1.
No, you just take this
Okay.
this question.
3 into minus 74.
5. Sir, 3, 5. 3, 5.
3, 5.
And 46, 74.
That's wrong. Minus 46. Okay, that's it. Not just
Yes, sir.
plus 46. It is minus 46.
Minus.
Okay, remember it.
Okay, sir.
Minus 46 minus 74.
Minus 24.
Okay. Then you can cross multiply it. Okay. And if we have to take the y, okay, here we are lacking space. That's why I'm writing here. Y is being written. So what will be the denominator? Remember, think and answer. Okay, I will show the answer. Then first, since we are taking the y, you begin from this side. Okay, so you can write minus 46 minus 74, and then you come to this side. That is 2 and 3. Clear? Again, you are cross multiplying. Okay. See here, x, it is given us as we have written 3, 5 and minus 46 minus 74, and here is equal sign also. And then we are only forming the diagram. That's why. And then instead y, the denominator becomes minus 46 minus 74, 2, 3, and for 1 divided by 2, 3, 3, 5. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, okay, you should write this. Then only you will remember it. Otherwise, for exam, you will think, oh, it is easy, I can solve it. But you will forget to how to draw this diagram. So always write at least 3 or 4 times each question. At least 3 or 4 times. That's what I will say. Okay, then only you will remember which method to use, how to solve it in a faster manner. Okay, so now let us move. And we are multiplying it. 3 into minus 74. Okay, x divided by 3 into minus 74 minus 5 into minus 46. And similarly, these expressions are written. Then we can see that 3 into minus 74 will give you minus 222 plus 230 is equal to y divided by minus 138 plus 148, which is equal to 1 divided by 25, 10, 10 minus 3 into 3, that is 9, 10 minus 9. And you can see that x by 8 is equal to y by 10 is equal to 1 by 1. Our aim is to find x and y. So first we will consider x by 8 is equal to 1 by 1. and y by 10 is equal to 1 by 1. And you can see that the value of x equal to 8 and the value of y is equal to 10. Are you clear how we are getting the answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I have told you yesterday itself, this method is actually very easy. See, once you have formed or drawn this diagram, you can go to the rest very easily. Just simple multiplications will be there. But
And by
the
using
important,
elimination method, we can also solve this problem.
yes, of course, we can use elimination method or even
Yes, sir.
substitution method can also be used. But
No, the way which is easy for us that we can use.
that's why I'm telling many of us are
Yes,
the viewpoint of us is different. For some students, this cross multiplication will be very easier. Most preferably, any question can be solved using this cross multiplication. The only thing is that you should form this, you should draw this diagram correctly. Otherwise, it will be difficult. And for some students, they will be using substitution method, and some others they will be using elimination method. So it all depends you. It's your right. You can take any method, whatever be the method, it should be according to your convenience and write the answer correctly. That's the only thing. Okay. And again, you can verify it. Clear? So shall we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So example 15. For which values of P does the pair of equations given below has unique solution? See, that's why I told you earlier. For then, how will we check the pair of equations has unique solution?
A1 by A2 is not equal to
B1 by
not
A2
equal
is
to
not
B1.
equals to B1 by B2.
Yes, that should be. That's why I told you should remember it. Only in that case, then only you will be able to solve this. Otherwise, you will have to. It will be difficult for you. Okay. So remember this. Then we can move to the question. Say the questions are given 4x plus py plus 8 is equal to 0. And again 2x plus 2y plus 2 is equal to 0. A pair of equations is given. And what is the question? For which values of p does the pair of equation given below has unique solution? Okay, we have to find the value of p. Our aim is not to find the solution. We want to find the values of p so that if we substitute that value of p in this equation, so that when we solve these equations, we will have only unique solution. Okay. So in order to do that, again, we are writing what is A1. A1 is equal to coefficient of x in the first equation. That is 4. And A2 is equal to 2. And again, the next case, B1 is equal to P and B2 is equal to 2. Okay, so we have written A1, A2, B1, B2. Clear? Now, as you have seen, for a given pair of to have a unique solution, it should have A1 by A2 not equal to B1 by B2. That is our aim. Okay. So, but we know what are the values of A1. A1 is 4 and A2 is 2. That is 4 by 2 not equal to P by 2. When we find the value of P, we can see that P not equal to 4. Which means, what does it mean? It means, therefore, for all values of P except 4, the given pair of equations will have a unique solution. I will say, what happens if the value of P is equal to 4? Look in the equation.
Then it will become equal.
Then both the equations are equal actually. We know that if the two equations are equal, what happens?
It gave one or two solution.
Not
It will give
infinite solution it give.
It give many
it will
or no
give
solution, sir.
no no solution at
It
all.
will
It will
give
give us
only
infinitely many
one
For this
solutions.
solution.
equation, so for these equations, the line will be parallel, and so no unique solution will be there.
Okay, no solution. How can we say that? See, look here. When A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 is not equal to C1 by C2, then we can say that it has no solution. But here, look here. Yes, it says C1 by C2, and
Unique
we can say
solution.
that if the value of P are any other than the number 4, then it will have a unique solution. Okay. And our question was, for which values of P does this equation will give us unique solution? We have given the answer as there can be any values. P can take any value except the number 4.
3.
Okay. So are you all clear?
We can take any number except 4.
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes, we can take any number except 4.
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes, sir, clear.
Now, our next question. In the same manner, there is slight change. For what values of K will the following pair of linear equations will have infinitely many solutions? And what is the condition for infinitely many solutions? See here.
A1 upon A2
A1 by
equal to B1
A2
upon
equals to
B2
B1
equal
by
to
B2
C1
equals to
upon
C1 by
C2.
C2.
C1 upon C2.
Yes. All the ratios should be equal. Okay. So let us see. You are given this 2 equations. And again, our aim is not to find the solution, but find the value of K. So we are going to find A1 by A2. What is A1 by A2? Which is equal to, that is the coefficient of X in the first equation divided by, that is K, which is divided by coefficient of X in the second equation, which is 12. So A1 by A2 is equal to K by 12, and similarly B1 by B2 is equal to 3 by K, and C1 by C2 is equal to K minus 3 by K. Okay, clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And see, what was our question? We want to check it should have infinitely many solutions, which means all these ratios are equal. That is, K by 12 is equal to 3 by K is equal to K minus 3 by K. Okay, it all should be equal. Our aim is to find the value of K. And for doing that, we are considering the first 2 terms. K by 12 is equal to 3 by K. And we can see that K squared is equal to 36 and K is equal to plus or minus 6. Okay, that's one condition. That's the first condition. The K's values can be either plus 6 or it can be minus 6. That is one condition. Okay. Now we are going to the second condition. What does the second condition say? 3 by K is equal to K by K minus 3 by K. And again, we are solving for K and we get 6K squared is equal to 6K is equal to K squared, and we can cancel K, which means either K is equal to 0 or K is equal to 6. So in our first case, we got it as the value of K should be either 6 or minus 6. And again, when we have solved using the second information, when we find the value of K, it gives us K value should be either 0 or 6. But when we compare both these equations, both the values of K, we can see that the K value should be equal. That is, the value of k should be 6. If so, we can say that the pair of linear equations has infinitely many solutions. Are you all clear?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
See,
sir.
there is nothing, there is no doubt. There is no need of doubt. This much you have clear. Okay, we are writing the information only. First, we are taking the first two terms. That is what we have written here. Then what we, and using that information, we have found the values of k is equal to plus or minus 6. And next we are going to consider the next two terms. That is 3 by k is equal to k minus 3 by k. That is here. And again solving that, we will get the values of k as 0 or k is equal to 6. And then we can see that both these k values must satisfy both the conditions. The only number which satisfies both the condition is the number 6 only. So we can say that for the k value is equal to 6, the pair of linear equations has infinitely many solutions. Now are you clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And actually what happens to the k value if it is 6? Let us just check what happens here. Actually what happens here? See, if the value of k is 6, what is a1 by 2? 6 by 12. Okay. And what happens to the b1 by 2? 3 by 6. And what happens to c1 by c2? K is 6. Okay, that is 6 minus 3 by 6. We are said that these values are equal. Let us check. What is 6 by 12?
1
1 by
upon 2.
1 by 2.
1 by 2. And what is 3 by 6?
1 by 2.
1
It
by
is
2.
also, it is also 1 by 2. And what about 6 minus 3 by 6?
1 by 2.
Also
1
1 by
upon
2.
2.
Yes. And this was our given condition. For any pair of linear equations to have infinitely many solutions, a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2.
C1.
Okay, that's how we have found the value of k. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, I remind you, you should keep in your mind these conditions, these three conditions. Okay. You will need it.
Okay, sir.
So that was about the cross multiplication method, and you have 4 exercises, only 4 exercises. And you can solve it easily. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. In the same manner, you can begin. Okay. Only the questions using, you can use cross multiplication to solve in this exercise 3.5. And get familiar with the cross multiplication method. Again, I tell you, usually this cross multiplication method is easier. Okay, but the only difficulty is first we have to form or draw this figure. That is the only difficulty here. After, if once you have drawn this figure, then everything will be easier to you. You can easily solve the questions. Okay. So now let us move to our next method. Okay. So section 3.5. Equations reducible to a pair of linear equations in 2 variables. That is, you may be given a pair of equations, but they are not in the form of a linear equation. See, let us do some example. And let me remind you, actually this kind of method will be useful for you in solving problems in physics, especially in competitive exams. Like the distance, when a man travels from one place to another by car and he returns to his place using bike, what the time was this, the such kind of information, you can use this method to solve, to find the values, that is especially that is the distance covered or the speed or the velocity. Such kind of information can be used to solve using this method. Okay, we will see what is this. See, you are given an example. Solve the pair of equations. See here, it is not a linear equation. Here the power of and x and y is -1. 2 by x plus 3 by y is equal to 13, and 5 by x minus 4 by y is equal to -2. You have to solve it. Actually, this is very easy. There is no difficulty or any special steps is there. The only step we have to do is we want to write it as like this: 2 into 1 by x plus 3 into 1 by y is equal to 13, and name it as equation 1, and 5 into 1 by x minus 4 into 1 by y, okay, is equal to -2, and we are naming it as equation 2. And this equation, from the view itself, you can see that it is not in the form of x plus by is equal to 0. So we have to convert it to our general form. How we can convert it? Instead of 1 by x, actually 1 by x is the value that changes this equation, not in the form of x plus by plus c. So what we have to do? We have to substitute. Instead of 1 by x, we are just writing or introducing a new variable p. Similarly, instead of 1 by y, we are introducing q. Okay, and then we are substituting it in equation 1, and then equation 1 will be reduced to 2p plus 3q is equal to 13, that is equation 3, and 5p minus 4q is equal to -2, that is equation 4. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nothing.
Yes,
Only
sir.
we are only we are substituting 1 by x equal to p and 1 by y is equal to 2. And again, now you can use any of the methods. There are 3 methods we have learned already. 3 are graphical method. 4 methods are being learned. Okay, either you can use graphical method or substitution or cross multiplication or elimination. Any method can be used. Okay, and you can actually, then we can solve it, and I have skipped that step. Okay, and we have found out the value of p is equal to 2 and q is equal to 3. This is very important. Many students will think that, sir, we have found the answer. So our answer is the p is equal to 2 and q is equal to 3. But you won't get full mark for this question. Okay, if you are stopping till here, because see, in our question, were there any variable having name p and q?
No, sir.
Only x and y was there. We only
Yes, sir.
introduced new variables p and q. So it is our duty to convert the p variable and the q variable in terms of the variable given in the question. Okay, so we have written that 1 by x equal to p, which means what is p? P is equal to 2. That is 1 by x equal to 2, which means x equal to 1 by 2 and y is equal to 1 by 3. This will be the answer. Okay, you should not stop till here. Sir, we have found p and q. Don't stop there. You have to write x equal to and y equal to. Okay. Are you all clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. So let us do another example. One more example. See, you are already given Solve the following pair of equations by reducing them to a pair of linear equations. You're already given in the question, but for your exams, you may be asked solve the pair of equations. That's only. No method will be mentioned. You can use any method. Okay, so you are given the equation. Again, it is not in a linear form. Moreover, it is a little bit lengthier, I think. Okay, so let us see. The only thing, the first and foremost thing we have to do is we have to substitute 1 by x1, 1 by x minus 1 is equal to p. Similarly, 1 by y minus 2 is equal to q. And then how will our equation will be reduced? Can you say?
Yes,
This
sir.
will be 5p plus q equal
5p
to
plus
2.
1q.
Okay. And
Then 6p plus minus 3q equal to 1.
okay. So we are naming it as equation 3 and equation 4. Now you can solve it using any of the methods we have learned. Okay. And thus we have found out, suppose we are just skipping that steps actually. You should do it. I am just showing you, you know how to solve it using any of the methods. Any method can be used. And when we solve it, we can see that P is equal to 1 by 3 and Q is equal to 1 by 3. But again, don't stop till here. Okay, you have to move further. And you can see instead of P, we can write 1 by x minus 1 is equal to 1 by 3. And then we have to find the value of x as x equal to 4. Similarly, 1 by y minus 2 is equal to 1 by 3. And you will get the y value as 5. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all about this equation reducing to a pair of equations which is not in the linear form is being reduced to a linear form, and then we can solve it and find the answers. So one more question is there. Okay, I think this can be done in our next class. Okay, this chapter is almost complete. Only one question is remaining. See, this is the kind of question I told you. You will need it like in physics. Okay. So
Upstream and downstream question.
yes, upstream and downstream speed like that. So get familiar with this method. We will need it for solving next question, and then we will begin to our next class. I mean next chapter. And regarding that, your syllabus, you have for your first term, you have actually 7 units are there. 7 units. Okay. First unit is we have already completed, number systems, and second unit is algebra. 2 chapters are there, and this is the second chapter that we will be completing in next class. Then the third unit is coordinate geometry. And one more thing, algebra. The unit algebra will have the highest weightage. It has got 10 mark. Okay, 10 mark. That is 25% of the total mark is getting from the unit algebra alone. Okay, so give proper importance to the unit algebra. And then unit 4, it is geometry. It has got 6 marks. And then unit 5, trigonometry, it will have 5 marks. And then unit 6, mensuration, it has